legal services work in Pennsylvania. And that's a topic that's really near and dear to my heart because when I grew up, I remember visiting family, including my dad, and wondering, well, why do we have to move all the time? Why are things always so hard? And when I was younger, I didn't get it. I didn't understand why. I just knew things were hard. So as I got older, I began to realize that we didn't have essential resources we should have had because we either lived in a really small area or, frankly, the middle of nowhere, and they just weren't there. And I realized that access to justice and to resources is a huge barrier for so many families, including parts of my own. And that realization had a lot to do with why I wanted to go to law school, why I wanted to become a lawyer. Legal services work, it's not just about the practice of law. That's important, but it's also about ensuring that those families who maybe don't have the most resources, they still have access and fairness and trust in the judicial system. It's deeply personal. Our own life experiences tell us how powerful it is to have somebody who's in your corner, somebody who's willing to stop, listen, and fight for you in a system that for you may feel completely impossible. Especially in Pennsylvania's smaller communities, legal services takes so many forms. We meet with clients, we attend hearings, we provide legal representation, but we also provide guidance and emotional support. We may not have a lot of shelters or social services or even pro bono attorneys available. Technology barriers can be huge because our clients may not have internet. They may not have access to a decent computer. So when some of the meetings or hearings are virtual, it can be really difficult. Gotta be honest, some days it feels like I'm not just an attorney. It feels like I'm a counselor or a mediator. And that's okay, because the work that we do, it really matters. In so many small towns and so many rural areas, legal aid, it might be the only support available. We may not have other resources for them to really avail themselves to when they're facing an eviction. They're potentially going to lose custody, or they're going to stand in court for whatever their issue is at that time. The relationships we build with our client and their ability to trust us, that's the heart of this work, and that's the heart of any legal practice. It's different in legal services because we're their only avenue. We're the last line of defense before they have no one to stand in their corner during those fights and during some of the hardest moments of their life. And things like the Bar Association and legal services work, it plays a really important role in those efforts. It helps us to build up networks, find pro bono initiatives, offer public education to these residents to help figure out what resources are available so they know, hey, this is the person I can ask for help. And they're a bridge that link the people who need it to our ability to actually help them. Because if they don't come through the door, they don't know the option is there. So there's absolutely challenges. We don't have a lot of colleagues, we have limited resources, and it can be hard work, both emotionally and just in the day-to-day, what are we expected to get done? There's a lot of strain in working in legal services because we may very well be their only real chance for help. And that weighs on you because if for some reason you can't help them, you realize they may not get the help they need. But even one lawyer, one person, one pro bono advocate, they can make a huge difference for families in building those connections with the clients and with the communities and making sure they have a fair, just access to the justice system. Every case matters and every client counts because at the end of the day, we're all in it. You should never be denied access to justice because you live in a small town. You should never be denied access to justice because you're in a situation where you can't afford to hire an attorney. The lawyers who do this work, whether we're talking about legal services or pro bono, we can help strengthen families. We can help change their lives and help them find stability that they don't otherwise have. And for me, that's why I do this work. I want to make sure that everyone has access to justice because I know firsthand the difference that even one voice can make is huge.